About today. Have you noticed that it's harder to get a taxi at the moment? Anecdotally, people have told us they've been left waiting for an hour or more for a cab after a night out. Obviously, some people understandably concerned about safety issues relating to this. One firm in Aberdeen told the BBC that it has half the number of drivers it had before the pandemic. Uber have said they're looking for thousands of drivers to plug the gaps. So what's going on? Dale Forwood is a taxi driver in London. Hi, Dale.
Oh, morning. Hi.
What kind of cab do you drive? What kind of taxi?
Oh, the new electric one. It's really lovely.
Is it a black cab?
Yeah, black cab. Yeah, the new electric one. It runs on electric and petrol. My customers love it.
Can I just say, they are, sorry to interject, they are beautiful. They are those cars, aren't they?
It's like driving a Rolls Royce. Yeah, so beautiful. And a lot cheaper to run as well. You know, I run on petrol and electric, so my costs are much lower.
Oh, I want to talk to you more about that. But let's just bring in Barry Sloan in Glasgow. Hi, Barry.
Hi there.
You left it, didn't you? You left the business.
Yeah, so I left just at the kind of last year ago in March there. I left at the kind of start of the pandemic.
And was that because you saw where things were going, that there was just going to be no work for you out there?
Well, initially I thought it was just going to be short term because there wasn't much work out there. Initially, that was the initial plan, but obviously finding other work, decided not to return.
What work did you go and look for instead?
So I started off doing kind of food deliveries and stuff like that, and then I started to look at the parcel trade and realised there was a gap in the market there, and I've managed to build a business in the parcel trade now.
Oh, right. Okay, so you've actually started your own business. Are you better off? Are the hours better? More in control of your time? Because obviously that brings its own stresses, doesn't it, and responsibilities?
Of course, it's quite similar stresses, I should say. I've kind of went from one vehicle to 15 vehicles in the space of a year. So it's kind of I've massively grew, and also due to the pandemic. But the hours are pretty much similar, but not so much where I'm out on the roads. A lot more safer as well, especially for likes of myself.
Safer,
yeah. Obviously done the job 12 years, and I've seen over the 12 years, especially at nights and stuff like that, people. You can get attacked and people are getting attacked and stuff like that. And I've kind of slowly stopped working nights and started more working kind of on daytimes to kind of get away from that kind of side of it.
Do you know what, Dale? Meet Barry, meet Dale. I'm going to step out of this and I'm going to let you two have a conversation because Dale, you, I'm sure, will understand or know what Barry's talking about. So take it away, Dale. Talk to Barry.
Hi, Dale.
Yeah, hi, Barry. So where are you?
Are
you up north?
So I'm based in Glasgow.
Oh, right, yeah, I'm in central London. And do you know, I've always worked nights. I like working nights because there's less traffic and it's easier.
It's the same with my wife as well. We both used to do it and we both left at the same time, obviously.
Okay.
And I moved away from nights after doing it for 12 years. It's a bit different, obviously. You're selling your own and your taxi because you've got the screen and stuff. That's something I've always wanted to get, but unfortunately, obviously, there's a big difference between a private hire car and a taxi.
Oh, right.
So
yes,
I
of course, yeah.
strive to kind of get to the taxi stage, but obviously things have changed now, so...
Oh, right. Yeah. I drive the black taxi. So you're quite right. I've got the petition, so I feel quite safe. Yeah. I'm separated from them. Yeah.
Of course. But then again, you'll probably know yourself, especially doing nights, the back chat and the kind of violence and stuff like that still exists, regardless of a screen or not. It's not. I'm not saying every person's like it. It's far from it, but you do get the odd problem cluster, we should say.
So Dale, why have you stuck with it? Because you must have noticed numbers go down initially, at least over the last 18 months.
Oh yeah, no, I love my job. Yes, it did in lockdown, but we're so busy now. It's crazy. All the restrictions are lifted. And we're really busy. I mean, we're not. I don't think there's a shortage of taxis. We're 90%. There's enough supply and demand. We're doing fine. And also, we're on a lot of WhatsApp groups, so we stop our taxis and we inform each other where the work is. And plus, we've got ranks everywhere. In the city, all the busy areas. outside the stations.
I wonder if
hotels,
it's an
everywhere.
issue affecting the app companies more. A couple of texts here. Once on Merseyside, I was waiting an hour and a half in the freezing cold. In Hull, it took me 2 hours to get a taxi from the suburbs into the city. In London, the apps have been a godsend in terms of improving the ease of getting a cab as a disabled customer, because drivers used to refuse to stop. And the issue for disabled customers has come up a couple of times. Another one here, unfortunately, being made to wait an hour or more for a cab outside of London is shockingly normal if you're disabled. Black cabs much more accessible.
Yes, I mean, you can book my taxi. I mean, I do give everyone my card. I'm happy to take bookings. A lot of us are. And we definitely we're wheelchair accessible. You know, we do pick up anyone. We can't refuse a fare. Once our light's on, we have to pick up. I'm not on any apps. I literally work the streets and the ranks, you know, unless people phone me and book me.
So is this a problem mainly for minicabs, Barry, rather than for black cabs at the moment with the shortage of drivers?
I think it really depends on each area is going to be different. So obviously London, there's a massive amount of kind of black cabs. Obviously the smaller cities have a lot less. Even obviously the private hire companies, the local minicab companies, their obviously numbers have all dropped. What I would say, it kind of reminds me of coming into the trade 12 years ago. There wasn't as many. And obviously a lot of folk have joined, and more so joined private hire. The Hackney numbers haven't really went up over the years. But what I would say is, back then there wasn't a lot, and then obviously it's increased. But what I would say is, yeah, there might come across as a shortage because a lot of guys have left. But I think, see, as long as you prepare, like if you're going on a night out, pre-book your vehicle for getting home.
Well, I'm not sure.
Wait about.
I'm not sure that always works, actually, to be honest.
Yeah. I've been told a lot of my customers when they get in, you know, like Ubers and the Bolts and that they're doing, they're cancelling, they're picking and choosing what jobs suit them. They're cancelling on people and they're price surging. So black cabs are actually cheaper now.
Yeah, exactly that. Last week we had a taxi booked to go for a meal, booked it 2 days in advance. The taxi company texted to cancel 20 minutes before we were due to go. We couldn't get another, missed our booking, lost our deposit. And thank you so much, both of you, giving us a bit of an insight. Barry, are you happier now? Do you miss it at all? Do you miss the chat, the bants?
Well, I still have my licences and stuff, but I don't plan on going back, obviously. They're still in date. But yeah, I do kind of miss it slightly, but obviously a better opportunities came up. But I'm not ruling it out for the future. But I think big things would have to change for me to go back. And the kind of safety was one of the big ones for me. And regulation's a big issue because the councils are charging more money. The clean air zones are coming in. They're telling you what vehicles to drive, what age the vehicles have to be. So the costs keep going up, whereas the fares and everything is just staying nice and low for the customer.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks very much, Dale. Enjoy your lovely little humming electric cab there in London.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm on all social media platforms, Dale Forwood, and I do YouTube videos about what I eat as a vegan in my taxi and picking up interesting people and charity work. So yeah, I'm on all social media.
It's the most
platforms.
interesting person
Who's
you've
the
had.
biggest star? Biggest star.
You got there first. Go on. Who have you had, Dale?
Oh, what people, and famous people. Oh, lots. Who have I had? Ruby Wax, Matt Lucas, Ian Botham, Izzy Izzard.
All at the same time. That's incredible.
No, not all at the same time.
That'd be quite a dinner party.
Where are you guys going? Yeah.
Dawn French, yeah.
Thank you so much, Dale. We're going to talk about veganism a bit later on, actually, so you can stay listening to us because we've got Ed Miliband coming up after 8 o'clock this morning talking about how we really tackle the climate crisis as we look ahead to COP26, this big conference that's happening in Glasgow in a couple of weeks' time. So we're going to talk to Ed Miliband about that and other things. Thank you to Dale. Thank you to Barry. It's 7:48.
You're right. And Rooney, the documentary will